All right, I'm here with Assemblywoman Taylor Darling. Welcome to Candidate Conversations with Skye, where we're going to get to know you as a human candidly.
I love that. You said say that 3 times fast. Hi, Skye. Thanks for having me.
Hi. So we know you're a member of the Assembly and now you're running for state Senate. So tell us why.
I am running for state Senate because the call to run, became an opportunity. We had no intention of looking at a higher office. We love being local. But when my colleague decided he was not going to move into the 6th Senate district, the newly drawn 6th Senate district, this seat opened. And it really kind of looked like a natural progression promotion. And we received so much support and excitement around the seat that we said, we have to do it because, again, and it's very cliche, if not me, then who? We want someone who has the solid relationships and understanding of how state government works so Long Island doesn't lose 1 minute or $1 while anyone else would try to figure it out. So we are running for Senate because we were called to run for Senate and we always answer the call for our community.
Beautifully said, Taylor. And I know I've gotten to know you as a person, and I really want other people to get to know you as a person too, about your upbringing, about your parents, about your family, about the family that you have, about how young you were when you graduated college. So tell us those tidbits.
All right, well, I was born out of love to two incredible individuals who loved each other very much and invested a lot into my sister and I. I have one biological sibling who is my younger sister, Sydney, and my political, the Bobby Kennedy to my my JFK. So we are really great. She's the one who really she pinpointed that public service was where I was meant to be, and she pulled me from the claws of the private sector. So love her very much. But my parents were very vested in learning, in justice, in adventure and travel, and chess. We were chess players for a very long time, nationally rated. We practiced 5 days a week and competed at least 2 days a week. Wasn't the sexiest activity to be a part of, and I would always say I'd rather be acting or modeling, which I did that too. But my father said, when you learn the game of chess, you learn the game of life. You learn how to strategize, and strategy is the name of my game right now. We're able to jump into any problem and usually come out with some solid solutions and action plans, and we're able to deliver solutions. And again, I attribute the game of chess to that and my parents pushing that. And it was just amazing. They inspired me so much. I decided I wanted to become a psychologist so that I could increase the incidence of healthy two-parent households, because I know that indicator is probably one of the greatest indicators for success. The support that my sister and I felt, even with my father's illness. He was in the military. He served our country as a tanker, and he was exposed to something. He developed radiation poisoning and died at 33. So that was very, very hard for our family. And it pushed us to move from Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn, and Europe. It was Europe, then Bedford-Stuyvesant, to Long Island. So we were introduced to Nassau County. My dad picked out the home that I still live in, one of our childhood homes, but he never got to move into it. But at 10, I was able to make the decision that we were going to make that jump from Brooklyn to Hempstead because we wanted to change a life, my sister, my mother, and I, and we wanted a safe space to heal. And my mother was in law. And then after she did not enjoy my first grade teacher, she decided to enter the world of education because she realized how important it was to have solid educators, teaching our children. It really is true. The hand that rocks the cradle controls the world. And she took an enormous pay cut to follow her heart and make sure that she had a schedule that was conducive to her raising us, taking care of my father while he was alive. And let me tell you, moving from Brooklyn to Long Island as an educator, it was night and day. The support she received, the resources she received. I remember in Brooklyn, she'd be like trying to find ways to buy pencils for the kids with her own money. And when she moved to Long Island, they handed her a book and said, what type of leather desk chair would you like? And she's like, oh, I'll send you my money. She's like, no. We're good here. You can keep your coins. So it was a totally different experience. She was able to work as an educational consultant. She sat on the board for PBS, for educational content. And, I just had two really powerful individuals who believed in me and saw the leadership. I identified the traits of a leader within me and my sister and I instantly once we were born. So my dad, beyond chess, had us, of course, in piano and tennis, and he would have me compete in storytelling contests to ensure that I was always confident speaking to anyone and I could memorize well. Since I love to act, that was a great way for me to learn, because with storytelling contests, you had to memorize the story and then recite the story off script.
And this was across Long Island or across the
Brooklyn.
country?
Brooklyn. It was in Brooklyn. I think they probably do it like across the country, but I competed and did.
How little were you?
Well, he died when I was 10. So this was stuff I was doing at 7, 8.
Okay.
Like he knew his time was very limited on earth, as most of us know. His a little more limited. So I was in boot camp for life. Like,
yeah.
You got to learn how to pay bills. You got to learn how to balance a checkbook. You have to learn how to, take inventory and know what's in the house. And he was really just training me to be my mother's support. And I was able to do all that because obviously she was a wreck after losing her best friend and her everything. And an amazing financial provider my mother was. But, it's just something happens when you lose your best friend. And, I had to rely on my sister a lot, which is why I call her my life partner. And I had to rely on my sister a lot for companionship and emotional support because, again, we were a very tight family. And illness and death are a hell of a thing to have to experience. But Nassau County, the Uniondale, Hempstead area was very, very good to my sister, my mother, and I. So good that I graduated early at 16 years old. And I attended my dream college, Spelman College, and it was amazing. So Atlanta raised me too. I was raised in the streets of the Southwest of Atlanta, College Park, for anyone who knows. And it was amazing. Like I really had an amazing experience. Graduated at 19, entered a doctoral program immediately after for clinical psych. 3 years later, I hated it, and my mother became sick. So I moved back up to New York to care for her. In between that, got a master's from Hofstra in industrial organizational psychology, entered another doctoral program for psychology to finish up what I started, and then she died. So then it was a whole process. So word on the street is I'm going to be a doctor very soon. You'll hear about that very soon. And yeah, just amazing upbringing. So for my voters and for people who are interested in learning about who I am, I come from a very solid background of love, intelligence, ambition, and solutions. We are driven and we get things done. So.
And how old are your kids now? You have 3 of your own kids.
Oh, where are they? Who are they? No, I'm joking. Yes, I do. Last I checked, I have 3 of them, right? We're in Albany a lot right now. The budget is late. So they're like, where's our mother? Passing the budget, dear. I have a 17-year-old who is probably the most brilliant person I've ever met in my life, and even more driven, if you can believe that, than myself. Humble, never asked for anything. Then I have the child that's the most like me, my 9-year-old. We like to joke and call her my political liability because she says the darndest things in public settings. But she is my biggest fan, and she's so smart and so just alive and does whatever the heck she wants. No one tells her what to do. So please pray for me. And then we have the little prince who is 2. He's going to be 3 on May 12th. He is an assembly baby. I had him during the pandemic. My husband was able to catch me for a couple of days, and we were able to have a baby. So that was exciting. So we had at least it's gonna kill me. We have our baby. I wanted a boy since I was 5 years old. And fun fact, I wanted to have one child to have the experience and then adopt 9, like Josephine Baker. And I wanted to have a rainbow tribe. So when the speaker decided to appoint me as the chairwoman of foster care for the state of New York, I looked at my husband and said, we can get all the kids. And he's like, where will they be? You're in Albany. I'm not raising your rainbow tribe by myself. But I do love children. I do. So I have 3 beautiful babies. I'm obsessed.
It's wonderful. Look, that's a well-rounded story. If you don't know Taylor Darling then, now you certainly know her now. And she's running for Senate right on Long Island. And I think the best way for people to get to know who the candidates are is to hear from them directly like we just did and have you share your personal story.
I agree. I do. And I think that it's and forgive me for overstepping, it's major because, Long Island is a very special place, but I still find it to be a place where we haven't really leveraged getting to know each other, right? We haven't really leveraged communities kind of integrating with other communities in a way that would elevate all of Long Island. Like, what do they say? Rising tides, move all ships. Yeah. Like, we haven't really done that yet. So we really need a bridge builder to be able to do that in a way that still protects the integrity of everybody's individual communities, but allows that pathway for us to be together. And I bring that up because we have never had a Black senator represent Long Island in New York State's 247-year history, which is it's a little disappointing. And I don't like to look at positions in through the lens of race exclusively. I feel like I always want the best person to represent us, the person who's going to deliver the most resources and pass the most legislation that supports our lives and allows us to thrive. But I do feel like we've missed some voices, and I am happy to jump in and fill in those gaps and be that voice. And I always joke, we are diehard Long Islanders. We go to the mall, we walk, we talk, we drink coffee, the Long Island thing, right? And I just said, this opportunity came, and I just said, who could do this better? And I really can't think of anyone who has that love and that ability to go across any line and be human first, be human first and connect us as humans, because the suburbs, I feel, are very much under attack. A lot of people, when they think of the suburbs, they're thinking, space and trees and a different quality of life, closer proximity to your government too, right? And there's so many things happening in New York and so many people who want to live here and have, that quality of life, that it's just one of those things where we need strong voices to say, hey, this is what works in the suburbs. This is what we are fighting. This is what we value. And we want our resources to be reinvested back in our communities as well. So
beautiful. We look forward to following you along the campaign trail, and best of luck to you always.
Thank you. I appreciate you.